look at the size of that bass. Guys and girls, we're going to be fishing Katy Lake in Louisiana today. I got my buddy Tyler Stewart, and Tyler's a great guy. Let me tell you about Tyler just a little bit. We were fishing an FLW tournament on Cherokee a couple of years ago, and I'd caught a good string of fish. I had about 15 pounds the first day, but I had a Kentucky bass that they didn't count as a Kentucky bass, and so they called it on me. I had the teeth on his tongue, but they called it another one, and it cost me, I didn't get to weigh that fish, plus they charged me a pound, so I got knocked down a couple pounds that day. And then the second day of the tournament, I run into you, and you had a limited fish. I had 3. And he said, Jimmy, he said, when do you weigh in? I said, I got the first flight. I'll weigh in another hour. And he said, I've just been going down this bank for about 2 miles, and I'm catching them on this little swim bait, on a little swim bait head. And I said, you got any handy there? And he said, yeah, pull over here and I'll give you some. We just kind of had met each other going down the bank. And he threw 2 of those little shaky heads over in the boat, and a little pack of the swim baits. And I put them on. He said, just go down the bank here. And I said, well, I got me a little point over here that's really, really good. I'm going to run over and throw it on. And I went over there, and the first 2 I got on, I lost. And then I caught one. And then I lost another one and caught another 4-pounder and had about 15 pounds.
Yeah,
went from 3
beat me with my own baits.
Actually, I thought you had made the money that last day, but I guess both of us just barely missed the money.
Yeah.
I missed it by my, really it wasn't my mistake. That was a spotted bass.
Right.
They just didn't count it as a spotted bass.
Bill Taylor's watching this right now.
But Katy Lake's got a lot of big fish in it. He's caught several double-digit fish. He actually caught the biggest fish that he's ever caught in his life,
1274.
1274, just a couple of weeks ago. Not on this lake here.
Yeah, but another lake down the road that just opened about a year ago. So we've got some really great fish in this area, great fisheries. You know, Katy Lake, I've cut my teeth on this lake, and I was telling Jimmy earlier, I mean, this lake relates so much to the places that we fish and helps me so much on tour. So I was so excited when he said he wanted to come out here and film with me for a day.
But you've got this stupid weather today.
Yeah.
We got 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's cold. It was 80 degrees yesterday, and today it's 40-something.
Yeah.
But we should be able to catch a few.
Yeah, we should have, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes it's just, they don't bite that good, so.
I see him. I see him. Fishing Katy Lake today. One of my tournament fishing buddies, Tyler Stewart. Tyler guides here on Katy, and we've got about the most lousy day in the world to fish. I'm talking about the most lousy day in the world. It's springtime, and the good thing about it is the lake's full of fish. The other thing is that they're up shallow, and a lot of them are on a bed. But the other problem is we got about a 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing at 40 degrees. But, pretty nice sized male fish right there.
Can we grab it?
I got him. That's a male right there. Now, his girlfriend is probably a big fat girl. There's no telling how big. Tyler's caught several double-digit fish out of this lake. He caught one just the other day, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he caught one just the other day out of here. And that's a male, but that's a good quality male right there. There's nothing wrong with that fish at all. That's a nice sized fish. We've got about 3 beds right here. These are Florida bass. They're really, really affected by the weather. And they're just not biting today the way they've been doing. This lake has been red hot. But shooting television shows kind of like fishing tournaments. You go to a lake, it's red hot, and the weather changes. So some of you girls can give that one some sugar. I'm not going to. That's a pretty fish. Pretty fish. You look like oh, that's a nice one. That is a good one. That's one of our girls that come in here.
Yep.
Whoa! Was that at the edge of the dock?
Yeah.
Yep.
Staging out there.
Yeah, right at the edge of that dock. That might be what we ought to be doing, just throwing the docks, you know. I mean, you wasn't under the dock or anything, you just swam out from under it. That's a good fish right there. Come here, baby.
Here, if I get up here, will you, Jimmy?
Ooh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. I like that. Oh, yeah. This lake's got lots and lots and lots of fish that size, doesn't it?
Yep.
I tried to knock it off and didn't quite get it done. Woohoo! Looky there. you know, Tyler was being real nice. He was waiting for me to catch one, waiting for me to get the male out of the way so he could catch a female. Now this is what will happen. This is what happens on spawning fish, especially when you have a day like today where a lot of those females have been up on that nest and they're leaving. And they're leaving just because of weather, nothing else, you know. But that fish is already spawned, looks like. But its tail's not messed up. It doesn't have a big belly. But they will come out, they will go out and they'll roam around, and you can just fish in the area of where the beds are and catch some of the big female fish. That's what we're looking for. Actually, we're looking for anything that's got a head on one end and wiggle on the other. That's all we care about. But if that wiggles further from the head, that's a better deal. We're looking for anything that's got a head on one end and a wiggle on the other. I got an LSU pin. Well, I was going to say, one of these docks, well, it wasn't this one. This one says LSU. One of them had Bulldog on it. Oh, that's your dock. I understand. I understand. Well, Mississippi State's that color just about. That's right. Well, yeah, that's how he got to be.
At ULM.
That's all I did in college. They didn't have college scholarships on it back then or anything.
You leave it on portrait mode?
No, whatever you want to put it on. It just said that was what it was on.
Okay, let me fix it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you
As
so
As
much.
far as they taught him to count a year on end. But he does that well. But he does that really well. In fact, a rather small one. A rather small one. A rather small one. Feels pretty good on this good. My little pow stick. You can't hardly get the hook out of them. They get hooked so good in that little bitty hook. And yet, I lost a good one earlier. Not a great big one, but much better than this one. A little male puppy dog. That's a little bit bigger one there. A little bigger than the one I just caught anyway. Heck yeah. I saw your worm flip off there, and I thought the fish flopped off, and I thought surely he didn't.
Another little male.
Yep. He's right on that wall right where that other one I caught him indigo was, isn't he? That wall ought to have a lot of fish on it, really. And the big females ought to be right around underneath these docks somewhere. And they probably are. They may be beginning to hit a little bit better, I don't know.
I think they're about to start biting a little bit.
Getting a little bit further away from when that storm come through.
Yeah. Nice little male.
Yeah.
Another wacky rig fish.
Well, Tyler, the wind beat us again. How many times is this? This is kind of typical of what we face in tournament fishing. I fished tournaments 54 years, and we have days like the last 2 or 3 days, 75, 80 degrees, water temps are shooting up, the fish just kind of jumping in the boat everywhere, and then one of these fronts come through like they do in March, and the wind blows 40 miles an hour. It goes from 80 degrees down to 40 some odd degrees, and the fish don't bite as good.
Yeah, I mean, this lake we're fishing to, it's full of Florida bass, and you know, the Florida bass, when a cold front comes through, it's tough. I mean, luckily we were still able to get a few fish in the boat today, catch a nice one, and
that one good one you caught out from under that dock, that was a good one, and we caught 2 or 3 other nice 2, 3.5, 3 pound chunks.
Yeah.
It's just Florida bass are different than what we call Texas largemouth, which actually are northern largemouth.
Right.
And they intertwine them together and breed them together, and they form an F2, which bites a lot better in the cold front and it still gets big. But a pure Florida, like some of these lakes have in them, and that's why this lake produces double-digit fish.
Correct.
The pure Floridas, they're just like a cranky woman. They're like a cranky woman after a cold front, I tell you what, and they just do not bite as well. We had a good day, we had a lot of fun, and we would fish till dark, except I've got to drive 430 miles and then got to get back home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and fly to Indianapolis tomorrow and work Saturday at the sports show. So we're going to call it a quit here a couple hours before dark, but we had a good day out there, a fun time. You come down to my ranch, I'll put you on the fish. And even if a cold front, we'll catch several.
Okay, sounds like a plan to me. You heard it first.